It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Gordon to back in trouble, let it go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass,
yeah.
and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 19 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are back again at the Pocono Raceway for the second race in our Pocono doubleheader. This is the Herr's Forever Good 400 from Pocono, 32 laps of action around the Tricky Triangle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. And we are in store for another fantastic race. Yesterday we had a last lap pass in the Kalahari Resorts 350 when Nicholas Samadillo got around Alexander Rowe. And Samadillo now starts in the 20th position. We inverted the top 20 finishing positions from yesterday, which means that 20th place finisher from yesterday, Patrick Smith, will lead us to the green flag. 21st through 42nd all start in the respective positions they finished yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see who pulls it off here today. It's 4 laps longer than yesterday's race, and I'm also alongside somebody different this time. Trey Wright, who I've also met here at this racetrack before, interestingly enough. And this is definitely a special race for you, of course, your home racetrack. But what are you looking forward to in this second race after that great race we saw yesterday? Do you think we're going to replicate a lot of that passing we saw for the race lead here today?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that most teams, so this is the first doubleheader weekend in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series history. I'm not sure what the practice was or anything, but I think most teams in yesterday's race, they kind of used yesterday's race as a test session. Today, it's going to be even more wilder. My pick today is going to be the 34 of Cameron Garlington. Totally not biased because I painted that car for my late grandfather, but I think Cameron Garlington, he's been good on the super speedways, and Pocono, it's like a super speedway for IndyCar. And it's kind of like with the speeds you get in the corners, it's kind of like a super speedway for NASCAR. So Cameron Garlington and the 34 is going to end up in victory lane.
We'll have to see if he can do so. Of course, he also got Dale Lightning. They're starting in 3rd. Of course, Cameron Garlington finished in the 12th position yesterday. He will start 9th for today's event. But, of course, the big story yesterday was Nicholas Samadillo going to victory lane, but a guy that he had to beat for that race was Sam Adoskin, who almost won his 4th race of the season. He's 95 points ahead of the cutoff coming into this race, and if anybody in this race leaves here 48 points ahead of the cutoff, they are locked into the chase for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, because after today, only one race remaining in the regular season, that being the Rays Dies and Tubing 400 next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Alexander Rowe is 69 points ahead of the cutoff. Of course, he finished runner-up yesterday. Shane Lake is 42 points ahead. Ryan Durrani 37 points ahead. Silas Orta 35 points ahead. Bradley Ream 34 points ahead. Nathan Baird 30 points ahead. Mark Davidson 22 points ahead. Reagan Whitlock 19 points ahead. Herr Arvin Alonso 12 points ahead of the cutoff. That's the top 10 in points. Then 12 points behind is Nathan Stapleton. 16 points behind is Diego Yepes. 20 points behind is Zachary Fitzwater. And 31 points behind Nikolai Sykes. All still with a decent shot in making the chase. In the wild card, though, it is tight. Andrew Miller holds on to the first wild card, only 5 points ahead of the cutoff. Fisher G and Nicholas Samadillo are tied for the transfer position. And funny thing is, Miller G and Samadillo are all teammates at Zidell Motorsports, and they're all on each other in the points. Of course, Samadillo won yesterday, but Fisher G does hold the tiebreaker with the better average finishing position. Matt Dalio 17 points behind the cutoff. Jesse Turner is 19 points behind the cutoff. The Nick One has and Wyatt Quill Thomas Troxel effectively out of the race, 45, 56, and 82 points down respectively. It'll be interesting to see where everyone finishes here today. A lot of those guys who were kind of on the bubble finished outside the top 20 yesterday, which means they're going to be starting outside the top 20 today. And with what we saw yesterday, it is difficult to work your way from the back to the front here. The cycle of pit stops are going to get just a little bit past halfway. Will probably determine how well those guys in the back can move their way up front. But in the race itself, it is difficult to make positions up here at Pocono. Even though we saw a lot of passing for the race lead, it's hard to work your way through the field here because the lines work differently through each corner here. Of course, here at Pocono, each corner, different banking, different degree. It's a wild track, but it's a good track at that. And we had a great race yesterday, looking for another good one here today. Patrick Smith and Fisher G finished 20th and 19th respectively. Of course, we took the top 20 finishing positions yesterday and inverted them to the top 20 starting positions here today. It's Smith and G on the front row. Dale Lightning and Tristan Allen in row number 2. Silas Orta. Good opportunity for Orta to lock his spot into the chase to the inside of Sebastian Kukulon. Mitchell Henderson to the inside of Ryan Durrani. Durrani with another good chance at locking his spot into the chase. Cameron Garlington and Daniel McMillan. If either of these guys win, they could possibly have a shot at the wild card heading into Indy next week. Uncharted driver Bubba Jones to the inside of Mark Davison. There's the top 12 starting positions here from Pocono. Make sure everyone's rolling off, and in fact they are. And I know you already said that Cameron Garlington was going to win this race, but what's another driver you might be looking for here, especially considering a lot of the guys who were running well yesterday are starting right around the mid part of this race?
Well, Napa, I think Alexander Rowe, he had the car yesterday, was just edge up by Nicholas Samadillo, just a little bit with who had better pit strategy. But Alexander Rowe, he knows how to wheel his 25 car around here. I think he's going to be one of the contenders to win.
We'll just have to see. Almost won yesterday as he finished runner-up. Of course, Alexander Rowe sitting in a good position in the playoffs right now, and another good run here today will lock his spot in the chase. We'll have to see for the other guys, though. 42 drivers take the green flag for 32 laps. The Herr's forever good 400 is green from the tricky triangle. Dale Lightning in the 38 just took the lead with authority. First time I think he's led a lap all season long and lead the first lap here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono. Fisher G. It's a huge opportunity for Fisher G as he's tied with Samadillo for the cutoff in the wild card. Enough points here today, though, could put him top 10 in the points. He got that win in Martinsville earlier on. Another strong points day here would set him up good for Indianapolis next week.
And Jada Wood and Dale Lightning, he has already shown that he has got a pretty good horsepower. He's got a lot of horsepower in that Mustang for this race. So I think Dale Lightning, he's going to be one of the ones to beat. But it's only lap 2 of 32, so who knows?
It's a longer race than yesterday, 4 more laps, because this is the traditional Pocono length that we normally have. This is the traditional Pocono race that we normally have here. So these guys are used to the 32-lapper here at the Pocono Raceway for the Herr's Forever Good 400, the traditional race. Versus yesterday's race was a little bit interesting. We didn't have a caution in it. It was a short race. But I think the pit strategy is going to play out very similar in this one, as the fuel window is the same as what we had yesterday, right around 17 to 18 laps, which is just past halfway here today. They should be able to make it on one stop, given we do not have a caution before the cycle of green flag pit stop. Silas Orta's up to third, Patrick Smith and Mitchell Henderson. Bradley Ream looking to lock his spot in the chase. He's 34 ahead of the cutoff coming in. A top 10 run here today should do the trick for him here at Pocono. But you got to remember, too, the cycle of pit stops changed things up for some of the guys who were kind of midway through the field. And that might happen again here today. Look to see where Alexander Rowe and Nicholas Samadillo are. Samadillo on the inside lane, just outside the top 20 right now. Neither of Samadillo or Rowe are top 2 finishers yesterday. Got a good start in this race, but they're trying to work their way through the field right now here at the Pocono Raceway.
Yeah, they are falling just a little bit as we saw Samadillo cut in front of the 92 of Reagan Whitlock. And you see they're beginning to spread out a little bit. So, yeah, just being, transitioning into your standard Pocono race single file with a couple little dogfights here and there. But for the most part, it's not as squirrely as the start, as they were almost 3 wide as they came off the flat turn 3. Coming out to the first lap.
So Sam Odoskin here in the number 83 is inside the top 10 right now after he finished third, I do believe, in yesterday's race. Of course, Sam Askener, points leader. More than likely, he will clinch his spot in the chase here today, but still looking strong, looking for that 4th win of the season. Feels like he should have gotten it yesterday, but Alex Rowe and Nicholas Samadio had other ideas. Running strong inside the top 10 right now. Good run for Cameron Garlington. It's been a tough season for Garlington, but he's had a string of good runs as of late, and of course, this is a special car for you, Trey. Honoring your late grandfather here at the Pocono Raceway, and did a good job finishing 12th yesterday to get him a good starting position in this race, and he could be a contender later on. Gatlin Downey was a contender in yesterday's race. He's to the inside of Tristan Allen, going to take that position away. Brett Sear to the inside of his teammate. Allen falling back right now in the 06. Not entirely sure what the deal is with his car at the moment. And Samadio now 20th, right where he started here on lap 5 of 32. But Dale Lightning has led every lap so far. We've yet to see a pass for the race lead, and at this point yesterday, we've already seen a few passes for the race lead. So Dale Lightning looks to have a really strong car. He may get his first career Napa fan win here today if things go his way.
Indeed, that would be awesome for that team, for American Motorsports. But back in the pack, Tristan Allen, you said that he was falling back. I think he came a little too hot coming out of the exit of turn 1. Had to check up there. That's what has kind of split off this pack of 15 or so cars that are running single file. So a little bit of an issue might be set a little bit too tight on that 06 car. But he's hanging tough. He is losing a couple of positions on the outside lane. Just momentum is such a key thing here at a track like this.
It definitely is. We'll check in on a few guys who are right on that chase bubble. Of course, Sergio Larvin Alonso, teammate to our race leader, deep in the field. He did not have a good race today. Finished 40th in the first Pocono race. He's 12 points ahead of Nathan Stapleton in the cutoff. Turner's one of these guys, along with Dalio, both in the back of the field, along with Andrew Miller. All 3 of those guys in that wild card race, while Samadio and G are much farther ahead of those guys at the moment. And then we got Nathan Stapleton in the 97, who has been creeping his way up there on that chase bubble. He's midway through the field again. He started up front yesterday, fell back, currently in the 21st position right now. So we'll have to see what Stapleton can do in this one, if he's going to have a shot at possibly moving himself inside the top 10 heading into Indianapolis next week. That would be huge for Stapleton heading into his home state racetrack. I mean, sure, he's excited about next week's race Dyson Tubing 400, but right now the task is at hand here at Pocono, and this race here at Pocono is going to play out a lot like Indianapolis, I believe. A flat 2.5-mile racetrack that's 32 laps long, so pretty much a carbon copy of what we'll see next week. So if you're good here, you might be good next week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Dale Lightning is pretty good here. Almost a quarter of the way through the race, and he's led every lap so far, but Silas Orta is coming in the number 3 here. But watch out for Orta. It's been a while since he's had a shot at the race victory, but he's had a very strong season in his sophomore year. Still yet to get that first career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory, but he's trying to catch up to Dale Lightning, get around him for this race lead.
He's right in Dale Lightning's tire track. Says Bradley Ream. He is going to dive to the inside. The first car on the inside lane. He's going to try and get a run on Orta. That's exactly what Dale Lightning wants to see. But Orta, he is right on that 38th bumper. Seeing that racing warning driver advisory as Bradley Ream, he's going to go to the inside of Orta. He's going to attempt to go to the inside of Lightning going down the Long Pond straightaway.
We'll have to see if he can get a run into the tunnel turn. Bradley Ream really strong here at Pocono. Had a good run yesterday, another good run here. Looking to lock his spot into the chase here today at the Pocono Raceway. They've filed it out throughout the top 10 top 10 positions, I should say. They haven't started for a while now. But you got the number 48 there, Nicholas Samadio, moving his way through the field, and Samadio currently in the 15th position, moving his way to the inside of Gatlin Downey. That is for the 14th position. So Samadio doing a good job for Zidell Motorsports, looking to sweep the weekend, and to the inside for the race lead. Bradley Ream takes it away from Dale Lightning, and he's got Cameron Garlington on the inside lane looking for second.
American Motorsports teammates dueling on the for the second place. That's going to allow Bradley Ream to pull away from these guys. So Cameron Garlington, he's going to try and dump some air on that 38 spoiler. Side draft into the top 3 have pulled away a little bit from Silas Orta.
And I know Cameron Garlington wants to win this race for you, and he wants to win this race to have a shot at the chase as well. He's 26th in points. He's definitely found some speed as of late in this American Motorsports 34. And if he has a good enough run, he could have a shot at the wild card heading into Indianapolis next week if he wins here today. We'll just have to see how it all goes down. How about Uncharted driver Bobo Jones? Of course, the last time an Uncharted driver won in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, it was Matt Tuck right here 2 years ago. Bobo Jones in the 08 looking to do that for Alan A. Dale Racing. And he's looking to the inside of Dale Lightning. I believe he's going to have the run down the Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, I don't think Lightning has quite the long run cars. We're just about a third of the way through the race, so like you're saying, pit stops, they're going to come at roughly halfway through this race, so like sometime around the 16 to 18 lap window, so expect cars to be peeling off in the next 5 laps or so.
There's Salmon Oskin. He's going to get to the inside of Patrick Smith. Oskin doing another great job here today. We've got to mention this guy, Sebastian Kukulon in the 13. He's inside the top 10 right now. Good run for that team, and Titan Fury Motorsports, you got Mitchell Henderson up here as well in the number 47. Another good run for Henderson and that team. They're 16th in points. You know, if they get a win here today, they'll shoot their way to the wild card race as well. I mean, this wild card race, the first time we've ever had it, it is going to be intense. And all you got to do is win a race and you're part of the wild card standings. And we'll have to see who the top 2 guys outside the top 10 in points with wins are at the end of next week's race. We'll have to see if somebody else throws their hat into the ring of the wild card race. It could be Bradley Ream, but then again, Bradley Ream's already inside the top 10 in points, so if he wins here today, most likely he'll clinch a spot into the chase on points alone. But Bobo Jones, he's not part of that championship. He's an uncharted driver, and he's to the inside of Cameron Garlington for the 2nd position. Watch out for this Uncharted driver here. He might be able to do it for the Uncharteds here today at Pocono.
Indeed, he might. As we see Brett Sierra, he moves from the top to the bottom lane. As we have yet to mention that the front straightaway at Pocono is wide enough for 5 or 6 wide. Hopefully we don't see that, because as soon as they go into the turn, that's going to be a massive wreck. But we see tire wear is starting to definitely become a factor. The lap times have definitely slacked off. So I expect fully within the next 4 or so laps for these guys to begin to come down.
Nicholas Samadillo in the 48. Definitely interesting to see where he's filing in here now in the 17th position, losing a little bit more ground. Nathan Stable is starting to creep his way through the field. He's just gotten around outside pole sitter Fisher G. Fisher G falling way back in this race here. Not working out too well for the outside pole sitter, and that's going to hurt him, because Samadillo is the guy he's tied with for the wild card cutoff, and Samadillo just passed him on the racetrack, so that's good news for Nicholas Samadillo. Got a mess back in here. Almost looks like it's 4 wide. It's not, but you got McMillan in the middle of all this, and thankfully they're going to figure it out entering the corner about that. That could have been a little edgy right there if they remained 4 wide. Still have yet to have a caution this weekend in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Pocono. We'll have to see if we get one here today. We've only had 1 pass for the race lead so far. That was Bradley Ream on Dale Lightning. A little bit of a calmer race so far than yesterday's event. We'll have to see if it gets any more wild after the cycle of pit stops. Mitchell Henderson to the inside of Silas Orta for 5th. Henderson looking strong here for Trans-Tasman Racing, and he knows he has a shot at the chase, and he's going to go for it on the number 3.
Indeed, he does, as the laps continue to wind down halfway next time by, and that's when most of these guys are doing pit stops. Here comes Garlington to the inside. He's going to get it on Bradley Ream, but I think Ream is going to have the run off the corner going onto the back straightaway as they're door-to-door going down Long Pond. And Ream is going to have the run on the outside. He's going to have drafting help on the outside. And I think Garlington might even lose second to Bobo Jones. He's got his teammate on the inside.
He got a good run there. Was able to keep the corner panel down the straightaway and into the tunnel turn, able to get to the inside of Bradley Ream. Good run here for Cameron Garlington at the Pocono Raceway. It's been a very long time since he's won a race. The last Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory for Cameron Garlington, the Season 6 Daytona 500. It's been a while, been since 2017, but he's got an opportunity here today at the Pocono Raceway, driving for your grandfather as well. A little emotional seeing that car go to the race lead. Only a 3rd different leader so far in this race. Next time by will be halfway through the Herr's Forever Good 400 at the Pocono Raceway. At Bradley Ream looking back to the inside. Bradley's never won before on Napa Fan. He would love for this race to be his first career Napa Fan win here today.
Indeed, he would. And I think Cameron Garlington's last win was Season 8 Daytona 500, if I'm not mistaken.
Season 6,
but
so
still,
it's been even longer than
Daytona
that.
500 win.
You got Bobo Jones, though, a huge run to the inside, and he's going to go right to the inside of Garlington and take the lead away. How about this? Oh, he had the opportunity, he had the help there from Dale Lightning, and he is going to go to the point. Just like that, 2 lead changes in 2 laps after we took a while to get our first lead change. We're halfway through the Herr's Forever Good 400, and it's Bobo Jones, uncharted driver, leading the field here at Pocono. Dale Lightning moving his way back to the field in the 38. He's the inside of Garlington for the 2nd position.
Indeed, it's Josh Marzak in the 34. Then we got 3 wide going down Long Pond straightaway. This can get a little edgy, as a little bit of contact there between Brett Sierra in the 30 of Patrick Smith there, but they're going to figure it out going into the tunnel turn.
And of course, Ace Garcia finished top 5 yesterday. As a matter of fact, all 3 of the Hamill Racing Enterprises drivers finished top 5 yesterday, including Gatlin Downey and points leader Sam Oskin. Imagine here soon these guys are going to start coming down. No one's coming down quite yet, but you want to come down early. Get those fresh tires. It's a worn-out racetrack. Tire wear is significant here. You got Pennsylvania native Andrew Miller at the back of the field. He has fallen back in the points. He's won twice this season, but those 2 wins don't help him if he doesn't have the points to make up for it. In front of him, you got Turner looking 3 wide. These guys are trying to scramble for positions, but it's not working out too well for guys like Alonso and Turner and Dalio and Miller. Guys who need points coming into this race, but they are not getting it so far here today in the Herr's Forever Good 400.
No, they are not. As we come with 14 laps to go, no, like 15 laps to go next time by. So I'd expect these guys are definitely going to start coming down the pit the pit lane within the next couple of laps, as we see Cameron Garlington taking the final podium position. As you do a flyby through the field, and Bradley Ream, he's going to try and look.
Oh, Kugelon's looking as well in the 13 machine. 3 wide, entering turn 1. And Kugelon wants this position on Ream and Henderson. He found the opportunity. We'll have to see if he can hold on to it. They're going to be 3 wide down the Long Pond straightaway. Get a little dicey right here. Ream's going to file in between Henderson and Oskin. And Garlington pulls away for 3rd. Dale Lightning now looking back to the back bumper of Bobo Jones for the race lead. But how about this uncharted driver? We really haven't seen the uncharteds do too well this season, but Bobo Jones has done a great job this entire weekend in both Chick-fil-A Cup Series races. We'll have to see how it all goes down when the cycle begins. Bobo Jones is going to be the first to come down with Dale Lightning, and Brett Sierra is going to inherit the race lead and grab a bonus point towards the championship right there. Only a few guys coming down. Got some guys in the back coming down. That might benefit guys like Turner and Alonso. As long as they can have good, clean stops, they could move their way inside the top 20, which will definitely help them out in the points. But all the American Motorsports guys coming down, running with the same strategy. You got Sam Adio down, Fisher G, and Silas Orta, a couple of the notable guys coming down the pit lane here on lap number 20. We go back to the race lead. And it is the number 35 of Thomas Troxels that's taking it away. He's 40th in the points. He's going to need to win both races if he's going to have any shot in making the chase, but don't think that's going to happen for him, but might as well try to get another win. He's the race leader at the moment, going to come down and lead the rest of the field down the pit lane. And Brett Sierra, or should I say Bobo Jones in the 08, will take the race off the pit lane of the first group of guys. Dale Lightning will be second. Cameron Garland and Bradley a little ways behind those guys at the moment. They're looking pretty solid right now, as they got a pretty good gap on the rest of the field. We'll have to see where they come out in relation to everybody else. Been about a 2-tire strategy for a lot of these guys this weekend. That's what they did yesterday. I imagine that's what they're going to do here today as well. We'll have to see how it all goes down for these guys. Some guys taking 4 tires. We'll have to see if anyone does play that strategy.
And we have to see, here comes Bobo Jones on the front straightaway. So is anyone going to beat him out? I don't think anybody's going to beat Bobo Jones out. He's going to have the momentum as Troxel comes out. Where does he come out in relation to the leaders? Oh, yeah, he's going to get past. Yep. The majority of these guys are going to get past here.
And Troxel's going to fall behind right there. Bradley, Ream, and Cameron Gollington have all the speed. Looks like they might eventually catch up to Thomas Troxel as well. But this race might be between Bobo Jones and Dale Lightning. And I apologize, it's actually a 4-tire stretch for all these guys. I was thinking about the race that we had last week. Caution on the racetrack here at Pocono. Somebody's around down the Long Pond straightaway. It was Shane Lake in the 15. And our first yellow flag of the weekend for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. It comes on lap 21 of 32 on the Herr's Forever Good 400. And that is not what Bobo Jones and Dale Lightning wanted to see. They will come back around and win the race back to the line and be the leaders, but they're going to have everybody else right on their tail on this restart.
That is definitely going to be interesting. I'm not sure if Thomas Troxel did a 4-tire strategy there, but I believe he did a 2-tire strategy.
I am pretty sure everyone did 4. So I don't think tire wear is going to be too much of a factor, but Troxel is going to have slightly fresher tires at this point compared to Lightning and Bobo Jones. Keep on saying that's Brett Sierra. That's essentially the same scheme, just without the sponsors there. But this is going to change the whole complexion of this race. We're going to restart with him. 10 laps to go. It's our first caution in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race at Pocono since Season 7 at least. This is not a very caution-prone racetrack for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We'll have to see how it all went down. The good thing is we know that everyone can make it to the end of the race without having to come back down again for fuel. Fuel mileage will not be an issue in this race, which is a good thing. But Shane Lake, this isn't too good for Shane Lake. He's managed to keep it inside the top 35, I believe. But for Shane Lake, he's 42 ahead coming in. He might lose a bit of that ground and, you know, risk himself not making it into the chase next week in Indianapolis. We'll have to see how this affects him in the points. Of course, too, he might be able to move his way back through the field, but it does appear that's all that ensued. One simple spin down the Long Pond straightaway, and enough to bring out the first caution of the day. Bobo Jones, uncharted driver, is your race leader. We're going to have a restart here soon, but first, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono. Coming off of turn number 1, and Shane Lake misjudged the exit. Kukulon had such a huge run on the outside here, and Shane Lake thought he was clear, but he was not. Just a spotter driver error off of turn 1 there for Shane Lake. That's all that ensued, though. Everyone else avoided this one, including Keegan Thompson, Ace Garcia back in there, Mitchell Henderson. You know what's going to happen here? I realize that Trey Bartow was 8th coming to the line here. He was able to surpass a lot of these guys because of this accident, and he's going to have a shot at winning this race. This is the site of Bartow's first career Napa fan win. Season 1, he won this very race here at Pocono. Don't think Shane Lake will win this very race here today, though, as he's going to lose a ton of positions. I think that's going to hurt Shane Lake more than anything. Not the damage on his race car, but the fact that he lost all that ground when he was running inside the top 15 when this accident ensued.
Following with Shane Lake here in real time, just misjudges the oncoming Sebastian Kukulon. Kukulon gives him another tap for good measure, and he spins around like a top on the back straightaway. And like you said at the beginning of this caution, this changes the entire complexion of this race. Bobo Jones and Dale Lightning were looking to just dogfight it by themselves, but with this caution, it brings back Cameron Garlington, Thomas Troxel, Shane Lake's teammate, Bradley Ream, and a couple of other guys that can possibly get this win, including Trey Bartow, like you said. So these final 10 or so laps are definitely going to be very interesting to see who's going to want this race more.
We'll just have to see how it all goes down. This is going to open the floodgates. Any of these guys inside the top 10 can win. And I just noticed, too, Herr and Alonso is now inside the top 10. This is a great thing for Alonso because he came in 10th in the points, 12 ahead of the cutoff. He started 40th here today. He has done an impressive job moving his way from the back to the front here in this number 28 machine, and he could clinch his spot in the chase at the end of the day if things go his way. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Uncharted driver Bobo Jones, he don't care about those points. He just wants to get the race victory, become the first uncharted driver to win a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since Matt Tuck in 2018. Let's see if he can do so. Under 10 laps to go in the Herr's Forever Good 400 from Pocono. We're back here at the Pocono Raceway. Just after our first caution of the weekend, we went caution-free yesterday in the Kalahari Resorts 350 for the 18th race of the season. Now here in the 19th race of the season, looking to set up the last race before the chase at Indianapolis next week. And we can have some interesting scenarios heading into that one. Some guys who are looking good when it comes to the chase, at least. Bradley Ream in the 40, Reagan Wellick in the 92, and Sam Oskin in the 83. If all those guys finish top 10, they're all going to be locked into the chase. No doubt about it. Then you got guys like Herr and Alonso, came in 10th in the points. He's currently 10th. If he finished top 10, he should be good to go. May not clinch his spot, but it should work out pretty well. But either way, Bobo Jones, Dale Lightning, Thomas Troxell, Cameron Garlington, and Bradley Ream. Here we go. Lap 26 of 32 on the restart. Bobo Jones clearing for the race lead. But Thomas Troxell is coming in that 35, looking for his second win of the season. He's 40th in points coming into this race. His shot at making the chase is pretty much non-existent, but why not go for the race victory anyway?
He does have 2 lap pressure tires and Bobo Jones, so he is going to be coming. Reagan Whitlock is also here. Samat Oskin, can he win by leading 1 lap again? Can he pull a Chase Harris again? And Trey Bartow, Herschel Urban Alonso's moving on up.
Yeah, Alonso knows he's got a huge opportunity here. He's really working that inside lane. I think we're noticing the difference between the guys who came in the second time around and the guys who came in the first time around. Troxell came in the second time around. Bartow came in the second time around. And they are slicing through this field like a knife through hot butter. Great run for Bartow in the 4. A huge opportunity for him to win a race in his final season for Titan Fury Motorsports. Titan Fury is yet to win a race this season, which is hard to believe. But Bartow coming into this race 38th in points. He's effectively out of the chase as well. But why not go for the race win? Bobo Jones for second on Dale Lightning. Next time by, it'll be 5 laps to go on the Herr's Forever Good 400. And Thomas Troxell starting to scoot away from the field. But here comes Reagan Whitlock in the 62 machine. Bradley Ream is here. How about Alonso? Alonso's going to have a run on Trey Bartow. Oh, Bartow's going to cut him off right there. And they're going to be 3 wide down the straightaway.
Down the front straightaway, I think Thomas Troxell, if this thing stays green, he's just going to check out and win this thing. But they're 3 wide heading into turn 2 as we got an American Motorsports Palooza in the back of this top 10 right here.
Yeah, last weekend in Chicago and Outer Island Motorsports is all with each other now. American Motorsports is all with each other here. Alonso, Lightning, and Garlington. Reagan Whitlock to the inside of Bobo Jones. I think Whitlock's had a good shot at winning this race. I don't know where he came from, but here he is in second now. An opportunity at winning here at Pocono. Bradley Ream with a shot as well. And Alonso and Bartow will also have a shot at winning this race too. Alonso, though, I think all that he really needs to do is get a top 10 finish, keep this thing inside the top 10, and he should be good to go to make the chase. But Bartow now up to the 4th position, and watch out for him. He's going to be going for this one. He has nothing to lose in this race. His last time in his home state racetrack. He's up to the 4th position with 4 laps to go in the Herr's Forever Good 400. Here comes Alonso for 5th. They're all starting to swarm Bobo Jones now in the 08.
Yeah, Bobo Jones, I think his chances of winning this race are virtually out the window. But keep in mind, if there's a caution, that ends the race, and that's going to put Thomas Troxell in the victory circle. So he's praying for a caution right now, or something that doesn't affect his position right now. But Reagan Whitlock, like you said, he is coming, and he is coming fast.
And don't count out Bradley Ream either. This 40 machine wants his first career Napa fan win, but he did not enter the corner well at all. Here comes Bartow. Another position for driver number 4, most likely. He'll hold the inside, entering 1 most likely, and take the 3rd position away from the 40 machine. Nicholas Samadio's moved up fairly well in this one. He's actually fallen back a little bit. Didn't get a good entry into 3, I believe, and he's fallen back to the 15th position, but he's looking to gain some points and possibly put himself in the wild card. Bartow to the inside of Bradley Ream. Can't quite get it on the 40 quite yet. We'll have to see if he can get an entry into the tunnel turn. 3 laps to go at Pocono for Thomas Troxell on the Herr's Forever Good 400. Here comes Reagan Whitlock in the 92. Whitlock wants some bonus points heading into the chase. And Bartow fell way back off of Bradley Ream, but he still has a chance. I just don't know if he's going to gift the race victory, though. It might be between Troxell, Whitlock, and Ream for the race victory here at the Pocono Raceway. 2 laps to go this time by.
There was a last lap pass yesterday. Can there be a last lap pass this time by? 2 laps ago, this time by. Reagan Whitlock is in the tire tracks of that 35 Velocity Racing Toyota Camry. As I enter through the turn 1, can Reagan Whitlock pass the 35, or can Bradley Ream waiting in the wings? Hopefully these guys take each other out, he's thinking.
Yeah, Bradley, I think, is waiting for Whitlock to make the move because he knows if he makes the move on Whitlock now, he's not going to have a shot at getting the Troxel for the race victory. They've single-filed out. It's going to be the white flag next time by. Will Whitlock have anything for Thomas Troxel, or will Troxel get a second win of the year from 40th place in the points? Here we go, across turn 3. Troxel a little wide off the corner, but they remain single file. It's the white flag, and the Herr's forever good 400 at the Pocono Raceway. 1 lap to go for Thomas Troxel in the number 35.
Reagan Whitlock as they enter turn number 1 for the final time. Whitlock is there, I think. Oh, he had to check up a little bit.
Oh, he did not get a good entry. Ream's going to take second most likely, and that might just seal it right there. It's not over yet, though. He still has to get through the tunnel turn. Ream did not make the move on Whitlock, but Whitlock's just too far behind, I think, to have a shot. If he can roll through the tunnel turn well, get a run in the 3, he might have a chance. We'll have to see. He is closing in here. It's one last shot for Whitlock to win this race, but it's just simply not going to be enough for him to get to the back bumper of Troxel. Second win of the season. Thomas Troxel, Velocity Racing. They're going to get it done in the Herr's forever good 400 at Pocono.
Thomas Troxel coming out of nowhere, playing the pit strategy perfectly. And Reagan Whitlock goes so close, same with Bradley Ream. Gatlin Downey finishing 4th, and Trey Bartow rounding out the top 5. Ace Garcia, Herschel Arvin Alonso, Patrick Smith, Silas Orda, and the 5 of Keegan Thompson rounding out your top 10 here at Pocono.
Good run there for Alonso and the number 28 machine. That's going to really help him out in the points. That could clinch him a spot in the chase, actually, because I don't really see many other chase contenders outside the guys who are already ahead of him, like Whitlock and Ream, and not sure where Oskin fell to. He didn't get the best of runs, 14th.
14th.
Not too bad for him. Sam Benio finished 19th. That's going to be interesting. Fisher G actually finished ahead of him, but I would imagine both Fisher G and Nicholas Samedier are going to surpass Andrew Miller in the standings. So I would imagine heading in to Indianapolis, Fisher G and Samedier are going to hold onto the wild card positions. And you got Stapleton. Oh, Patrick Smith just hit the pit road wall. Not entirely sure what happened to him there. Not that it matters. We're at the end of the race. But the Stapleton there finished 21st. That's just right midway. He's going to be right on the edge heading into Indianapolis. This race was all over the place. Thomas Troxel gets the race victory. But the bigger picture is how the points are going to play out, and I'm very intrigued to see how they will play out here in a moment. Zachary Fitzwater, though, might just have lost his shot and making the chase. He finished last here today. Same with Matt Dallio in the 75. It was a tough break for Dallio. Wasn't that long ago. He was in victory lane in North Wilkesboro. John Arnn, another guy. Nathan Baird. Now, that's an interesting one because Baird came in 30 ahead. There's a chance he may not even be in the chase heading into Indianapolis next week because of that run. Alexander Rowe, I don't think he's locked his spot quite yet. We'll have to see how it goes down for him. Same with Ryan Dorani. He was deep in the field here. Andrew Miller, obviously, he was part of the wild card race. Was only 5 points ahead coming in. He more than lost out on Fisher G and Sam Adeo. Turner is going to be on the edge there in the 77. He finished 20th. Not the best of runs for him. Iquan Haslam was already out of that wild card race effectively anyway. Same with Wyatt Quayle, and even Troxel was as well. Now, remember what I said. Troxel effectively has to win both races. And I meant Pocono and Indianapolis if he's going to have any chance at winning, going into the chase. Well, he won this race. We'll have to see what he does next week. But if he wins Indianapolis next week, there's a slight possibility he could squeeze his way into the wild card. He needs the points. He didn't get maximum points. He didn't lead the most laps here today. But he got a lot of points, and that's going to help him out. Going to be interesting to see how these points play out. But final thoughts on this race this whole weekend here at Pocono. Some great stuff here from the Tricky Triangle. And what are you looking forward to next week in Indianapolis?
I'm expecting, first let's start off with a weekend recap. I think the doubleheader idea for Pocono definitely paid off. We saw some great racing. Yesterday. Not as action-packed and I'm not gonna say not as great as racing as yesterday, but still a great race today. Just great weekend in general. Just bravo to the NOFSRL officials for pulling this doubleheader weekend off. And then about a preview for Indianapolis. Pocono races a lot like Indianapolis, or I should say Indianapolis races a lot like Pocono. So I think we're going to see some a very similar situation. A little bit more cautions, as Indianapolis is more prone to cautions than Pocono is, but the racing format, not racing format, excuse me, the racing style, it's basically just Pocono ×2. So we're just going to be seeing twice as much passing, twice as much cautions possibly, and just twice as much craziness, especially given that this is the final race before the playoffs begin.
Yeah, and with that being the case, you're going to be looking at certain guys. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the points here. And definitely intrigued to see how this is going to play out. We're going to discuss this right now because this is a big thing here for going into the Indianapolis weekend, and definitely looking forward to see how it all goes down. But guys who I think are going to be good to go: Sam and Oskin. Alexander should be fine. He didn't get the best of runs in this race as he finished 28th. But I would imagine that he should be good to go. But we'll have to see who's clinched their spots in, because some guys will, some guys won't, and it's definitely hard to tell where everybody is in this chase standings coming into Indianapolis. And there you can see the point standings on the screen. Hopefully you can. Hopefully I edit this in Premiere. I think I will, just for this. Oskin is clinched, no doubt about it. Rowe, I believe, is good to go, and Bradley Ream as well. But you look there at Herr and Alonso, he only gained 1 point there on the field, so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects Indianapolis. He's got a considerable gap between him and the cutoff, and the cutoff might very well end up being between Baird and Stapleton. Now, here's the thing. If Stapleton jumps Baird, Baird has the win. He could end up in the wild card position. And for guys like Fisher G and Nicholas Samadeo, they do not want that to happen. So many factors going into Indianapolis. With all of that in play, it'll be next weekend, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, July 4th. Oh boy, we're going to have some fireworks in that one. Raised Eyes at Tubing 400 next week in Indianapolis. It's going to be a good one. And then the America 100 in the IndyCar Series from Auto Club later that night. So great 4th of July here in the NOFSRL. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Thomas Troxel, your race winner here. Of course, unfortunately, he's out of the wild card race, too far behind in points. I don't think he's going to have an opportunity to do so, so disregard what I said about him having to win both races. He's just simply too far behind, but still got his 2nd win of the season. And Velocitar Racing with their 4th win of the year here in the Chick-fil-A Cup. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week for Indianapolis weekend in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. The race dies at Tipping 400, the last race before the chase, and we set the 12-driver chase for the championship in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be wild, and you don't want to miss it next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here in Epsom. Thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Trey Wright, congratulations to Thomas Troxel, and I will see you guys later.